When I moved into the Pinewood apartments in Clearwater for what was supposed to be a quiet, temporary home while my house was being renovated, I had no idea that my life was about to take a wild turn, especially when it came to my internet connection. I've always been a pretty straightforward guy, known for patience and getting along with neighbors, but there is a limit. I thought I knew a lot about technology, but back then, Wi-Fi was still fairly new to me, and I trusted the installers to handle everything. I was naively unaware of how vulnerable I really was, and I let them set up everything without much fuss. For a couple of months, my internet was decent enough. I was working from home, streaming shows, playing games, living my normal life. But then, suddenly, things started to slow down. My video calls stuttered, downloads dragged on forever, and my ping time soared into the hundreds. I called the provider, scheduled service visits, paid for troubleshooting. Nothing helped. Finally, I discovered that one of my neighbors had been tapping into my Wi-Fi, stealing my internet and slowing everything to a crawl. I was furious, but I knew I had to act. First, I changed the network name to badge 357 and generated a long, complex password that no one could guess. After that simple change, my internet speed climbed back to normal, my ping dropped to a comfortable mid-20s, and I felt a small victory. It wasn't long before I had my first run-in with the neighbor who thought she could get away with stealing my internet. One day, when I was at the rental office paying my rent, I noticed a young woman walk in and start ranting about her internet being shut down. She was about 20-something, a cute brunette, and she kept complaining about how the police had shut her down. I asked her what she meant, and she said that the officer had posted his badge number during the raid. She sighed and said she was running an adult webcam service. She swore it was all legal, just some side job to make some quick money, but it was clear she was upset about losing her illegal connection. I didn't really care about her work, as long as she wasn't stealing from me. So I gently nodded and asked, "Why do you think the police shut you down?" She looked at me with those big eyes, trying to play innocent, and then she threw in a suggestive smile, batting her eyelashes and wiggling her hips, the kind of move designed to charm a guy. She whispered sweetly, almost seductively, "Maybe you could help me out. I could tap into your Wi-Fi and in return I could do something for you." I chuckled, mostly amused, and said, "Sure, my router is badge 357 and my password is." I let the tension hang before I finished. "You!" I knew what she was trying to do, use her charm to get free internet, but she hadn't expected me to turn the tables. Her face fell a little, and she suddenly looked a lot less confident. That's when she got a little more aggressive, claiming that I'd ruined her business, that she had clients depending on her, and that I was preventing her from earning her livelihood. I just smiled, bought my rent receipt, and walked away, leaving her standing there with that frustrated look, rogue hair pulled back, and a telltale icy glare that I couldn't help but find amusing. I figured she'd get her own service eventually, and I never saw her again after that day. Still, the icy look she threw me in the parking lot made me grin every time I passed her. I thought I had learned my lesson in how vulnerable Wi-Fi could be, but that little episode was just the beginning of what turned into more of a game for me. I didn't consider it revenge at first, just a way to protect my connection, but later I realized I'd temporarily taken a stand against someone who thought she could steal and cheat her way without consequences. That act of minor defiance made me feel a strange sense of victory, knowing I stood up for what was mine in a way she hadn't expected. It was simple, petty almost, but it was a reminder that sometimes all it takes is a little ingenuity and courage to turn the tables on someone who thought they could just take whatever they want. And honestly, I don't regret it, because sometimes you have to fight fire with fire, especially when someone crosses the line and tries to steal from you, whether it's your internet or your peace of mind.